It's hard when it's in profile.
What is going on, Movie Meals? Movie Meals, we're back. Took about a week or so off. Had a couple
More than that.
comments. Had a couple comments on some videos. It has not been more than that since the last video on our channel has dropped. It's been a week. 2 weeks since you've been on a video, but not 2 weeks since we've made a video. I looked at it today.
That's weird.
Another
Didn't we
happy
not do a
landing.
Loki episode for a video? Oh,
No.
well, happy landing. Okay, fine.
Yeah, a video. Hey, Movie Meals. We haven't made a video together in a while. Sorry, on vacation. It happens. It's part of summer. But we're here now. Talk about Black Widow, which we both got a chance to see. We got to see it. We did not see it together. He refused to go with me. But let's talk about it. Before we get too far into it, thank you to Steve, Kimberly, and Karen and the Movie Meal patrons. If you want to be a member of the Patreon, go become a member of the Patreon. It would mean a lot. Go get some Movie Meals merch. We've got a bunch of new, cool, really cool stuff. I got some on right now. Thanks for watching, Mom T-shirt. Guys, it really is good stuff. If it would really mean a lot, be very supportive if you went and got some of that. All right, let's get into it. Kyle, what were your positives of Black Widow?
My positives is that this movie entertained me just enough. I mean, Black Widow wasn't necessarily a movie that I was dying to have. I was always fine with her being more of a side character as opposed to having her be a center for a solo movie. I just didn't feel the need for it. But I think for how the movie turned out, it was still pretty solid. I mean, I liked the action that was involved within the movie. And obviously Scarlett Johansson as Natasha as Black Widow is great as usual, but I felt like this movie, between the action and with her being at center stage, it had this vibe of being almost a Jason Bourne-esque type of movie. Like it had like the vibe of being like kind of a gritty spy thriller throughout the whole thing, for the most part anyway. And there was some points where it kind of felt like a family drama comedy type of thing. And when the family aspects come into play for this, I think it works really well. I really like the inclusions of characters like Yolanda from who's played by Florence Pugh, and David Harbour's character, Red Guardian. I thought that they were good additions, and they were, some different dynamics for, Scarlett Johansson's character to play off of as compared to what we've always been seeing her with the same old characters beforehand. Yeah, all in all, I would say that I was still pretty entertained. Thanks for those reasons, but it didn't, make me want to see any more Black Widow. I think her story is already done, as what we've seen from Avengers Endgame. But from what they gave us, I thought, it was a pretty solid entry.
Yeah, I went in with pretty low expectations. I came out actually having a great time. I think Florence Pugh was the absolute steal of the movie.
Yeah.
Scarlett was great. The family dynamic was really good with David Harbour. Why can't I think of her name?
Oh, Rachel Weisz.
Rachel Weisz. They were excellent. I loved all that. I thought the opening was really good. The opening was awesome. I like your comparison to Jason Bourne. I've seen a lot of Bond being thrown around, but I actually like the Jason Bourne comparison a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really liked it. The end credit scene I really liked. There is an end credit scene. And I really like that because it sounds like they're taking characters in a different direction than I think what people were expecting, including myself. So I really liked that. I thought it was fun. I'm a big fan of Taskmaster, who's the villain in this. They do a couple different and interesting things. I actually thought they worked. I thought the villain was a solid, second tier Marvel villain. Marvel doesn't focus on their villains, so everybody who whines that this movie stinks because the villain wasn't amazing needs to double check the fact that they have two good villains ever. And Loki, I don't think fully counts if you want to say three, because he's not really a villain
anymore.
He is in the first Avengers. Yeah. But yeah, so it's but I ended up really enjoying it. A lot of positives. I thought the action was really good. I thought some of the fighting was awesome. The humor really hit for me. I like the direction, like the final fight, a little generic, but it worked. Did you have any negatives?
I would agree with people's negatives when it comes to villains, but I'm weird about it. I'm kind of like you, where I thought the way that they were used in the story kind of fit. Like, yes, they're not going to be memorable. And I think for a lot of people, Taskmaster ended up being disappointing. But for whatever reason, for me, I wasn't too surprised with this movie that the villains didn't really come to play and didn't really contribute much. But I think when it comes to how they were used in the story, I thought it worked out pretty fine. Um, I guess just the one criticism that I would probably have is that while I think Black Widow's dynamics and exploring the family aspect of her background was good, I don't think there was much pushing of the character even more so for us to really feel like we need a Black Widow movie. And maybe that could be due to the fact that her story's kind of done and we've seen enough of her, arcs as a side character that, for a character who's supposed to be a mysterious spy character, there's not really too much that you can explore about that unless you really want to expose everything, which personally I don't really want everything exposed. So I think it was probably the right decision to go with it kind of being like a movie that talks about the importance of family and how this character who never really has had a family is able to reunite with her long lost family. And um besides that working, I just don't think they really pushed that character very much. And I would have liked to see more of that, but maybe that's just the simple fact that we've seen enough of this character that we don't really have much more to tell. But who knows? Maybe they'll find a way to make a sequel and that could change. But that's probably like the one negative that I would have for this movie.
A sequel would have to be another prequel with where this movie ends.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, I mean, the negatives are just, it can be a bit paint by numbers at times. There's some things that maybe don't work super great that people are whining about. I've seen a lot of people complain about the CGI. CGI looks great. Relax. Those same people, it's like, it's a CGI heavy movie. It looks horrible. It's like, okay, but you also love Endgame, which is shot on a green screen in a studio and massive CGI. But anyway, yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was good Marvel. I thought it did her character justice. It didn't retcon anything from Endgame or Infinity War. In fact, I think it amplified Infinity War for her, which I can't get into because of spoilers. But yeah, it was. Yeah, I ended up leaving having a really good time, and I'm really excited the direction they're taking with some of these new characters they introduced. I think is going to be really cool. But yeah. So guys, what do you think of Black Widow? Comment below, let us know. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Thank you to the Movie Meal patrons. Go join the Patreon, get some Movie Meals merch. And as always, thanks for watching, Mom.
See you guys.